Kyle is coming in his 69 Riviera. We're going to do a video on it, and he's coming after the old Cooper 1957 Cooper Cyclomo.
So when I bought it, they said that the family was kind of fighting over it. So the one brother, the brother that they don't talk to, has the original keys. So they had these keys made up for it. Well, I went and got GM keys, but this key isn't long enough. It's still an E-code key, but it's not as long, so it won't lock the doors. It's about a millimeter or two too small, because it works in the ignition and it'll turn the door cylinder, but it won't lock the door cylinder. It's like it needs just like this much more. And I've called a bunch of GM stores and everything. I mean, it's the same E-code.
Interesting.
And the trunk key works fine, but this one's just longer. And I don't know if they were just longer back then or what, but I can't, because like everything's the same.
That is a bit of difference in length too. So if anyone out there in YouTube world knows, answer the question on the keys.
It's a E-code.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hopefully somebody will know a little bit. I don't know a lot about the keys with GM cars. Oh, we don't want to run over Gigi there.
This is all the paperwork and stuff. And so that door hinge on the driver's side's going out.
It's a 69. It's going to need a few things here and there. This thing's awesome. Look at how clean that dash is. Yeah, this car is clean. FM, AM.
Flips over.
Super cool.
And there's a really good AM station from Walled Lake, 1480, that plays all the old stuff.
Oh, really? Because I was listening to 580 on. Oh yeah, I'll have to tune that in the Bel Air, because 580 hasn't been coming in good lately. That's neat. 1480, huh?
Yep. And it's cool. Cool that the power antenna is a separate switch. So it's but I just keep it up all the time.
Get the switch too.
Yeah, that's the switch right there.
Yeah.
And then for the rear defroster.
Is that a fan, or is it, no? You got the ribs on.
The ribs on it.
Yeah.
Automatic cruise control. I mean for the climate control, you just set your temperature. That's one of the things that doesn't work, which I'm looking to get that fixed. The washers, cruise control on the stock. So it works. You just push the button, the light will come on the dash where it says cruise. Interior light switch, pop all the lights on. And then the speed warning.
Speed minder, huh?
Yeah, speed minder up on the...
My grandparents had that in their 66 Buick. My grandpa was a lead foot, he had to use it. Talk about smooth and quiet.
Yeah. It's got the ride and handling package on it, so there's sway bars on it. Turn right, you said?
Yeah. And then we're getting light reflecting off the windshield. I'll hold the camera down here. And then go up about 3 or 4 streets and do a right, and we'll go to one of the... There's a park at the end of every one of these streets. They're all dead end that go to the right. Our mayor collects classic cars. I don't know what he has at home right now, but he has about a dozen cars, and one of them's my favorite of his is a 59 DeSoto that's unrestored. And he's got a 70 Ford Country Squire that he just had the engine rebuilt in. You can go down this one or the next one. Any of them are fine. Yeah, I love the sound of these cars. They just have their own their own sound.
And it's got disc brakes up front, which was an option. We'll see that on the window sticker.
Just pull up anywhere here. The city, this is the city maintenance buildings. I don't think they're doing any maintenance. So just pull up next, like in between those there. That way we get good light on the car, which is important. Oh, now you can see the dash with the speed minder and all the goodies there.
And the power locks, which are vacuum on the doors, and power windows as well.
Yeah, I can get around the car good here to where it in that parking lot the other night I couldn't get around it really well. I'm gonna have my shadow in there, sorry everybody. And back in the day, they usually had right in the light somewhere, they had the year of the car.
Yeah, so right here, 69, that far corner.
Yeah, right. Hopefully it shows up in the video. A lot of people don't realize that, but you could, if you didn't know the year of the car and there was no plates, you could go up the tail light and it would tell you.
And there is a vacuum trunk release from inside the glove box that does work. Some service manuals, vacuum lines running through.
Yeah.
And the drain hoses on the side with the water.
Man, everything's intact still.
Oh, and interesting, someone told me at a car show that the 69 Rivieras were the only year to have an electric fuel pump.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So right under the floor here, you'll see a little access panel.
For the pump.
And that's pumps right underneath.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple other people that they had electric pumps.
Like the jack and everything is still in its place.
Doesn't look like it's ever been out of there.
I don't think so. And the T3 headlights that originally came in it, the guy kept them in the box. He said that they're still good, but he didn't want to burn them up, so he put a new style on.
In case if you need to change the tire on your 69 Riv and you don't have your jacking instructions, now you know how, right?
There's a fold-up door down here
for the gas tank. How many gallon tanks does this car have?
I've never ran it all the way down to E, but I think it's about a 20, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, it's kind of off to the side of the spare. Man, the underside of this car is clean.
Yeah, we just put it up on a hoist today at work, and the only thing that has even the slightest little drip, and it's not even like a drip, is the rear end, right where the drive shaft goes in. Everything else is
pinion
just,
seal
is just bone dry.
Yeah, well, pinion seal is no big deal to change. I don't know if I can get, wow, yeah. I can see the undercarriage much better here than when.
Yeah, it's just so unbelievably clean underneath. I'm just sad that the top doesn't look as good on the paint.
I have no idea what I'm videoing under here, but obviously we're videoing something.
Oh, so I was talking to my grandpa and my uncle. And they said that sometimes of the cars that would get parked out by the foundry, and that foundry dust would get on the top and kind of checker it up like this, or like brand new, and that's kind of what it looks like, because the checkering's on the top, but on the sides, it's very clean. So they think it might be some of the foundry dust.
Yeah, seen cars that have had that done to them too in the past, to where it's just on the top like that. But that is like a, you're right, I bet you that's what it was, because of the way the, maybe if they're on a shift where it got the dust and a dew.
Yeah. And I got a book full of stuff. I don't know if it's better to do it here or on the trunk. You know, window sticker. So this was a pretty high option car, because base price $4,700, then after all the options it was $6,555. So like $1,800-$1,900 in options.
Yep, disc brakes, AM/FM stereo radio with front and rear speakers, electric antenna. Well, I think people can read it. They can pause the video and read it. Man, it does have a lot of options. And it was from Centerline, Michigan.
Michigan. The next one, got the dealer copy of the invoice on the car.
Man, you do have
The Protecto plate for the warranty when you come in, and they push all your info through that credit card reader.
Yeah, a lot of people don't remember those, but yeah, you put your thing in a little thing that had carbon copies, and you'd pull it back and forth and it would print. That's why that's a mirror image.
The original title, which the Secretary of State kind of gave me some trouble about keeping that, because technically there's still a lien on the car to a bank that's not even there anymore.
City National Bank, 660 Woodward, I'll be darned. That's what the title on my Bel Air looks like. It's this kind of paper like that, just about that size. Apparently that letter up on the top corner here,
Yep.
that means something, and I don't remember what. Some of them are like A if it's original owner, but being a lien, that might have been why it was a T.
Yeah. Just some dealer booklets, like on the AM/FM radio. I can take this one out. This is a pretty cool one. Actually, and like the warranty cards. This is the sticker that fell off the door for the tire pressure, and they kept that. I like that they kept that.
24 front, 30 rear. Oh, 24 cold, 30 hot front, 28, 34, okay.
And actually, this was the dealer brochure that I meant to, but it has parts and accessories in it.
Engine block heater, automatic trunk. There's the trunk release, electronic eye. Oh yeah, you could even get a two-way CB radio. I didn't know they offered that in '69.
Back here's got a little bit more. The 8-track player. Now, I thought the ski rack was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had a Country Squire that had an 8-track in it.
And a lot of these stuff here, it excludes the Riviera, so models except Riviera.
Trunk matted except Riviera, probably because they're a slightly different layout of the trunk.
And there's a few other things that say except the Riviera.
This was supposed to be a sports car.
Yeah.
And in its era, it was.
And the booklet that all the paper is in, and Jim Carney Buick, Centerline.
Huh, isn't that interesting? I have a friend that lives in Centerline. I'll ask him if he remembers the Buick dealer there.
And this was kind of cool. So it's a message of someone wanting to buy the car, and the phone number is 5-5655.
Yeah, there was an error, and I remember it to where you didn't need to dial two prefix numbers or the area code if you're local. So
that must have been like in the
maybe in the 70s or early 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest of the stuff is just service from early 70s and 69 and stuff. All the warranties for the
muffler.
For the muffler. It's had like 3 mufflers put on it, all lifetime warranty, but it's just paperwork and more paperwork, and
that's good that they kept
warranties and everything. And then in 1998 and 1999, here's 2 invoices here that are both for like $2,900 worth of work. So like all the vacuum lines, the brake lines, brake pads. So the car pretty much just got gone over in about 1999.
Which would have been needed because that rubber would probably have been like as brittle as can be.
So like
That's probably what you'll find with your climate control when you get into it. It's all vacuum operated, and the hoses have probably gotten brittle, and the O-rings and the controls have probably got dried out.
yeah, it's just all fittings for brake lines and everything. So this one's $2,400, and I think there was one more here, another 24 at $1,300. So 1998, 1999, they really went through everything. Pretty good. Copies of invoices. Here's pretty much where mine starts, when I got the title switch and then got new original GM keys for it, and then some lights. I replaced some lights on it. Now there was an interior light that I replaced, and
I had a whole ton of old new in the box GM bulbs, so if you need any.
Yeah. Want to look
I
under
buy
the
them
hood
in
again?
yeah, I buy them in estate sales. You know, that's one thing living in the automotive capital. And I find Warren, I think a lot of people that lived in Warren worked at the tech center.
Yeah.
And you know, they used to call General Motors Generous Motors,
Generous, right,
because
yeah.
everybody walked out with stuff. And I had neighbors, they'd bring home stuff all the time, and I go to these estate sales and I find this stuff brand new that they walked out of GM with, and it's in these, and I buy it when I see it.
All the stickers for the vacuum headlights, which I'll go hit the switch for you. It holds vacuum awesome.
Totally. I love the sound of it. Does it have enough vacuum to do them a second time?
Probably.
Where's the vacuum reservoir and stuff?
I'm not quite sure. It might be up under the dash.
Well, let me just see it, because I could hear it here. I just want the sound of it.
Uh-oh, it didn't have enough.
Enough vacuum to put them back up?
Yeah.
Well, I'll go up as soon as you start the engine, but that's pretty good. Oh, there's the bellows right there.
So I guess if all
they
that goes
fail, you
out,
can unplug them
put
and-
these red caps, you unplug it down there and you just cap the hoses.
So you don't have a vacuum leak. Interesting. I had a 75 Ford that had vacuum headlights, but it didn't have anything like this. That's super interesting the way they... Those are big bellows.
Yeah, so my grandpa had a 67, and he said that his was like an electric motor. And it was one motor that ran both of them, and his went out, and he said it was $12 to replace it, and he said that was the most ridiculous thing ever. I can't believe that motor was $12. And I was like, $12?
I had a 77 Dodge Royal Monaco Brougham, and it had hidden headlights or electric. It had a little knob right here, so you could open and close them manually if the electric motor failed, and one night it did. And as soon as I touched the knob to open them up, they whizzed open, so it just must have been stuck.
It has cruise control works on it.
I mean, all that stuff's in really great shape. That stuff was notorious. This kind of plastic was notorious to deteriorate.
I think it's missing, missing a
pad or something.
Some pad, and I only think it's that middle one. I don't think these outer ones had it, but these front ones have it, and that middle one.
Yeah. Probably.
I probably should get it, because sometimes when I get home, I'll touch the hood and it'll be pretty hot.
Critters get into them, and pretty much I'll do them in.
But I'm surprised for how long it sat, because it only has about 35,000 miles on it. It got parked in '77, and then didn't drive till probably about 1999 when they did all that work. I put probably 800 miles on it. There's not one drop of anything in my garage. Like that rear end has dropped one time.
So that's not even worth worrying about.
It is one drop. that's been there out of 800 miles, but I can't believe that everything's not just dry rotted and leaking like crazy. It runs just amazing. I've jumped it up on the highway. I've gone 100 and it cruises effortlessly.
What gear does this have in the axle? Do you know by chance?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's a pretty tall gear, because like if you're just cruising on the highway, it's just loafing.
Yeah, you'd have maybe put a bit of tape on one of your tires in the drive shaft and push it and see.
Yeah.
And count what turns what. You can figure the ratio out. And as noted last time, yeah, the vinyl tops on these were the first thing to go. So that's any car with a vinyl top.
Yeah, so it's not the darkest, but I bet if I got some type of coating or wash on it, it'd probably darken right up.
I don't think I'd mess with it. It's too nice.
The runs on the hood, I did a hand wax when I first got it, kind of cleared up a little bit, so I feel like if I hit it with a really light like orbital buffer, I might be able to get a little bit more out.
Get the stains out of the paint.
Stains out. Because this was a lot worse, and just from going over it with just a hand wax, it cleared a lot of it out. How about the chrome on it is just amazing. There's no pitting, no nothing on it.
Yeah, I like the car the way it is. I wouldn't repaint it. It's a survivor. It has a story.
It does, yeah.
You know, you got to be able to tell the story of it, of its life, and that's what makes the cars fun.
Just brakes. That's probably that way.
Yep, that was common in the late 60s, early 70s when cars had disc brakes. They always flaunted it. Just like when power steering came out, it always said power steering. Yeah. Yeah, disc brakes. When they put power brakes in the older cars with drum, they said, like my pad on my Bel Air says power brake. But I added the power brakes on another 59. It didn't come with them. Took them off a parts car. Yeah, that's super nice.
So just gotta get the AC working. I want to redo that door hinge because it's starting to sag a little bit, and the rear speaker. Everything else works on it.
Is it the speaker that's bad? Have you tried?
The speaker I don't think's bad. There's just, I think it's like the wiring or a hookup or something.
Try the fader on the radio, work it a little bit. Sometimes that, you know, they get dirty.
Yeah.
And it might, and the clock, if you can get it out of the dash easy enough, they're easy to get going.
The clock was working on the way down here. Looks like it stopped now.
They make a tuner cleaner is what I use. It's for like cleaning the old school tuners.
Yeah.
And it works pretty good on clocks if you're just gentle with it, because if you get too crazy with it, it freezes the spring and ruins it.
It's got the side marker lights that light up when you turn the lights on. The cornering lights when you turn the turn signal on, which is like a floodlight on the side of the car.
I know,
like
that's
when you turn it on, it lights up the whole side.
I've had a couple cars with cornering lights, and that's one thing I always liked with them. Cornering lights in some of the Fords I've had have a keypad, so you can.
Oh yeah, the keypad. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, where you can just push in your code and get in the car without having to have your keys. That is a nice option too. Yeah, you're not going to fit a lawnmower in that trunk. Well, there we go. Beautiful original 69 Riviera, and the owner of a new 1957 Cooper Cyclo-Mo.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. I think I got you in the sun on that, but that's the way it goes sometimes. We're not a professional here. We just kind of make videos. Yeah, that is nice. I'm impressed. So I was just putting the seat belt on, and you can see a buckle here. And that's the lap belt. And then this car has shoulder belts here too, which a lot of cars of this era had their shoulder belts stored up here because a lot of people didn't even wear seat belts, let alone shoulder belts at this time. But if you note, that buckle's a lot bigger, and I just got a lesson on this. Look at the size of this shoulder belt buckle.
Here's the smaller one.
Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay,
Lap
so
belt, shoulder belt.
how interesting.
Except the middle seat has a big belt for the lap belt.
Maybe because you don't have a shoulder belt.
But it has the
big coupler like the shoulder belts.
Yeah.
That is super interesting. Super interesting. I never knew that was done
down here.
in the era when everybody smoked.
And then in the back too, which is funny, probably on your side it'll be easier, there's little flip ups on each side, and each side of the back has their own cigarette lighter.
I think that Catalina, was it the Cat? One of the cars I had cigarette lighters in the rear ashtrays too.
Yeah, so there's ashtrays on both sides for both rear passengers with 2 cigarette lighters.
Well, we got some shade here on the street, so it shouldn't blast out the camera too much. Instrument panel on the sun.
So it is 35,939 miles. I bought it earlier this year with 35,000, I think like 200 or 300.
You put more miles on this than I had my Chevy this year.
Yeah.
Headlights would have closed too because they have vacuum now.
Yeah.
Sounds really, really good. Doesn't even feel like we're moving along that fast.
Yeah.
That's a lot smoother than any of my old. I mean, it feels like we're doing about 20 miles an hour. Look at that. Moving right along. That's 50 right there? Yeah.
And then if I kind of get on it, it really just pulls out.
This would have a quadrijet on it.
Yep.
So you got a big set of secondaries opening up. I got a square bore on my Bel Air, so it's a smaller set of secondaries. Get light on the dash.
And we'll probably get a good sound going under the bridge here. I'll kind of get on it a little bit.
All right, we'll have to make sure the
And there's no
police,
cops sitting up there,
yeah, they sit down there a lot.
There's a Model A up there. Somebody's in the rumpus.
Yeah, totally. And this is a Wednesday night. It's not even cruising yet. Yeah, if you're gonna have an 8, it's gotta have a rumble seat or be a truck. I used to work at Jerome Duncan Ford back in the 80s, and some guy traded in 2 Model Ts on a new car.
Oh yeah.
And Dick Duncan came out and says, "Get those things going for me. I want to drive them around my dealership." So it was kind of a fun working for him because he knew I was good with old cars.
Yeah.
So he always had me work on them for him.
So when we get under here, I'll kind of get on it.
And we'll hear that. Hopefully I can get the speed up.
So that was 70.
It sinks you into the seat. Definitely gets up and goes.
And it has a pretty decent sound.
Yeah, it does.
It's not loud, but just enough to let you know.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the 4-barrel through that stock air cleaner. A lot of people took the lids off so they could really hear them, but
Or flip them upside down.
the problem is that Sonorcal is there for a reason, and the reason is it adds performance to the engine because it makes less turbulent air for the carburetor to intake. Carburetor can actually intake the air easier with the air cleaner installed properly than with it not there or the lid upside down.
Did not know that. But yeah, if you're driving at 40 and you get on it, or you're driving at 70 on the highway and get on it, it pushes you back the same. It doesn't care what speed you're going.
Those 430s are powerhouses, no doubt about it. Now, Dave, you remember your 430 and your 67 convertible and how that thing got up and went. This thing gets up and goes just as well. There we go, all of them neatly lined up there. That is so interesting. I never knew that. Wow. And the Buick's supersonic accelerator.
Yes.
All chromed out and just waiting for a foot to mash down on it.
There's the passenger recline here. Push the button, that pops open the back.
So that's the recliner.
That's the recliner for the passenger side, which
Okay.
I've been told that's a pretty rare option to have, that passenger recline, because nobody wanted to pay for it.
I remember these headrests GM used to use like that curved around. They just look so good. They had such a nice look to them compared to just what's on modern cars. Yeah, that is clean. Look at that center rear speaker.
Oh, here where the ashtrays down here on each side. Pull it up, have your own cigarette lighter on each side.
Well, you don't want your guests not to be able to light their cigar or cigarette in your car, do you?
And your power, the power rear windows has a switch on each side just for this little quarter window. It kind of twists.
Yeah, because of the way it goes down in the quarter panel.
I'll go hit the power on it. Down here for you.
Those things move right along
Yeah,
too.
I know. Now the windows go pretty fast on it, and then the power seat down here on this side, you can. See all my work stuff here, but it's like up under the seat.
Oh yeah. That's where they should all be. Yeah, this car is super nice, super clean car. I mean, look at the door panels, they're perfect. Look at the quarter panels, they're perfect. These cars rotted out here, it's perfect. They rotted out here, it's perfect. Look at that, no rot. A little bit of minor surface on the bottom of the door, no big deal. Now, yeah, they'll want to hear the pipes. $14.80. I'm gonna go put that on my radio dial now. Take care. Well, I thought I had a really nice outro recorded, but I guess I pushed the wrong button or did something. So anyway, here I'm making a new one. And Kyle also sent me, he texted me a photo and stated that it said Buick is a beauty too in the passenger side rear view mirror. And if it doesn't show up there, I'll try and get that photo through the editing software and see if I can put that on the video right here. So if you like the video, definitely hit the like button. If you want to subscribe to my channel, I have 3-quart 48 engine icon that powers this big old Bel Air down the road. We'll subscribe you, and thank you for watching my videos.